Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Beat with the ABC. I'm Dr. Jayne Morgan, the co-chair of communications for the Association of Black Cardiologists. Today, we have a great member with us, Dr. Tracy Paul, a New York cardiologist. Welcome, Tracy. It's such a pleasure to have her today. And actually, Tracy, I just would like to start with what brought you to the ABC?
I was a fellow at Cornell, and actually Dr. Rochelle Albert came and gave a grand round, and then she had a fellows roundtable. And based on that, I started to do my research about ABC Online, and then I took the deep dive and I grew it.
That's awesome. And how long has it been since you've been a member?
Oh, like 7 years.
Okay, that's good. And, you know, the things that you do in your everyday life in cardiology with the community, you know, what kinds of things do you do that are impactful, that really bring your joy and value?
So as a cardiologist, I'm lucky to be able to use my knowledge about heart health and to take what we know in terms of the science, in terms of the clinical practice, and distill that for everyday pricing. You know, I've done a lot of like community health events, like in my local community, with like virtually and in person. Also, it really just be has sounding board, not only for family members, but friends and friends of friends when they have to navigate like cardiac disease. And really, you know, explaining to them like how, like what their cardiologist may be thinking, why this is the prescribed treatment. Other ways that I use my practice in cardiology to bring back into the community is making sure that in terms of like clinical research involved in cardiology, that it's a diverse space, that our voices are involved not only as being patients in these trials, but also in the design of the trials itself. And also making sure that, you know, what we're looking at in terms of like research and the ideas about research, that it's inclusive and that it actually is reflective of the needs of our community.
You know, that is really so important because clinical trials really don't have a lot of minority participants, certainly not a lot of Black participants in these trials enrolled. And we want to make certain that every product, every compound that gets approved by the FDA is relevant to every single population. So I wholeheartedly agree. I applaud you for all of that work. And, you know, those are really small things that add up to big things.
Be that person that can translate. Because sometimes, you know, and I felt this way when I've been a patient, that's usually when you're talking to your doctor, you can just be like overwhelmed a little bit, and you may need to have someone to help you digest.
I love that term, overwhelmed in the moment, and we can certainly all relate to that when we're patients, even though we're physicians, when the shoe is on the other foot. How does the work that you're doing sort of dovetail with the mission of the agency?
I think for us to improve like cardiovascular outcomes among like Black people, we need to have Black physicians, ensure that we have access to resources where we are able to have research that is reflective of our needs, research that reflects that includes us, that we're not kind of like, you know, just like a footnote of the trial, but that we are, that it's a domestic representation so that we can understand, you know, not just medication or other ways that my work kind of merges with the mission of ABC. Is really focusing on that education aspect and making sure that the messages in terms of like knowing our donors, knowing the lifestyle changes that we need to make to have these cardiovascular questions, knowing, you know, the medications that are available, so when we use medication, and sharing that education among like kids.
Right. Such a great answer. We have such fabulous, talented members here in the Association of Black Cardiologists. I want to thank you so much for joining me today on the Beat with the ABC. And we'll see you next time when we introduce you to another fabulous member.